Hey there, I'm Dave Dumarisk, also known as Farmer Dave's of Farmer Dave's here in Dracut, Massachusetts. And what you're seeing around me is one of our several greenhouses full of spinach. We grow a lot of crops all summer long, but we've expanded our season extremely, and now we're pretty much growing year round. I started my CSA program probably about 12 years ago with about 55 families, and this year, in part because of COVID, we swelled to nearly 2,000 members. And how did we do that? Well, let's go back to March. For a couple of days, my wife and I thought, with everything going on and COVID just ramping up, should we just shut down for the year? Because we didn't know if people would be able to work, if we'd be able to grow the crops, who's going to harvest them. Our whole system was up in the air. But then we stopped and we said, you know what? We have invested so heavily into our farming system in the past few years with new greenhouses, added acreage, new apple crops and fruit crops and storing crops, and also our whole delivery system, that it would be a disservice to our community to not grow this year. So we started planting seeds. And as we started to see our CSA numbers just grow and grow and grow and grow, nearly to 2,000 members, luckily we had that adaptability and flexibility to plant more. We've always kept several acres kind of in reserve every year, growing green manures to improve the soils for future years. So to a certain extent, we had that flexibility to use those extra acres to be able to grow more food for the community. But we still had the problem of how do we get all this product that people love and are enjoying eating into their hands efficiently, sustainably, and safely due to COVID. And that took a lot of learning curve for us and for our members. But we had a lot of no-touch pickup. We have very sustainable, reusable CSA totes so that everything was fully enclosed. Nobody would breathe on or touch the product going to each members. And the season, even though it was an awful lot of work, worked pretty much seamlessly. And I really only have my staff of nearly 100 in the summer to thank for that. If it wasn't for a wonderful staff, because I can in no way do all this work myself, if it wasn't for the staff, we couldn't do it. And I also want to thank very much the Sustainable Business Network for this award, because I think we are doing a lot of great things here in Massachusetts, feeding Northeast Massachusetts of more than 2,000 families every single year, which means more than 6,000 people every year we're feeding, which is quite an amazing feat when I stop and think about it. And I look at all the food that we're producing every single week and going out off the farm and feeding people all throughout the Northeast Massachusetts area, as far south as Quincy and Weymouth and right up into southern New Hampshire. So we grow all these crops, but we've also been investing very heavily into figuring out how to grow them efficiently and sustainably. We harvest the sun's energy in greenhouses like this to grow the crops, but we're also harvesting the sun's energy with our solar array to power our geothermal heating and cooling system, and also to power all of our refrigeration. We have water cisterns to collect water for irrigation. We're doing many, many things to create a system that will be long-term very sustainable, so that future generations can continue to farm this land much like generations before have. We've gotten to the point where we're growing these things so sustainably and storing them and growing through the winter that it's pretty much now year-round. In fact, our CSA now does go year-round. Unfortunately, some of our farmers markets were canceled due to COVID, but we more than made up for that with the growth of our CSA, and a lot of our farmers market customers switched over to the CSA program. Some farmers markets, because we also do a lot of lower income and hip and snap markets, we also started to offer pre-boxed options, so they could just order the box, pick up the box. Again, no touch, no breathing, no breath, no COVID. So we're very happy to be able to serve our community in the way that we do. Everybody has different gifts. We obviously have a gift for growing good food and getting it to our community.